I'm still trapped within this book, and you're still alone. Is that what you want, Raven? To be alone?
No.
Hey, hello, how do you do? Shady Doorags here. We are, at last, returning to the show about teenagers fighting crime while wearing inappropriate clothing. Cyborg doesn't even wear anything at all. Weirdo. Yes, we're back to Teen Titans. Finally, my Double T fans can feel excited again for a Shady Doorags video, while my Avatar fans continue to wonder why they subscribed in the first place. This time we'll be talking about Raven, and guys, I have to admit something. It's not easy for me to say this. In fact, once the words come from my mouth, some of you will never look at me the same way again. But if I'm to continue my career here on YouTube, I have to do it with honesty. Okay, here goes. If you don't recognize these names, then get your fake fan self out of my video. I had no idea who Rachel Roth was before my first Teen Titans video. I didn't even know Raven had an alternate identity. I looked it up just so I could make that opening joke. With this act, I've dishonored myself, my family, and my cow. I just hope that one day you can forgive me. So when it comes to Raven, I had to go down an interesting journey in figuring out exactly what episode I wanted to tackle. Like the other Titans, I wanted to do an episode that took a look at her character specifically and explicitly. Unfortunately, that meant the elimination of pretty much all my favorite episodes with Raven. See, despite her introverted nature, I enjoy Raven more when she's co-piloting an episode, like in Switched or Car Trouble. And all the objectively best episodes, like Birthmark, are more story-driven than character-focused, requiring way too much context, so they're out as well. I finally decided on Spellbound because if I can't please myself, I can at least please my audience, and of all the Raven episodes, this one seemed to be the most requested from you intellectuals. Or at least, that's what I thought. Turns out I was completely wrong and only a few people asked for this episode, but I had already watched it twice and started writing the script before I realized that was the case, so this is the episode we're sticking with. The episode starts with Dungeons and Dragons, yeah! That's what I'm talking about. So there's this wizard and he's fighting this purple and black dragon and the wizard shoots the dragon and it's all like zap, but the dragon is all like, I'm a dragon, rah, I breathe fire, rah. Wait a second, fire? From a black dragon? Must not be a chromatic. Through narration, we find out that this is the wizard Malchior fighting the evil dragon Rorik. We also find out that it's all a book being read by Miss Roth herself.
Hey, Raven, put the pedal to the metal. We gotta go.
Jeez, Beast Boy, calm your green butt down. The alarm just went off. Also, Raven's really fast. Pretty sure she could lag behind for a few seconds. We transition to a part where it's suddenly daytime? How did that happen? The sky was dark in the last scene. Some kids come across a mysterious toy, but when they approach it, they find a nasty surprise. Nice try, show. I've seen enough Fairly Odd Parents and Ben 10 to recognize the Tara Strong scream when I hear one. Oh, did I mention Tara Strong is the voice behind Raven? Cause she is! Bubbles, Batgirl, Raven. This woman was all over the superheroine scene apparently.
Cardiac, you're under arrest.
Ooh, another action scene already. Episode You Spoil Me.
T-Rex, takedown!
What exactly was that supposed to do? A T-Rex does not make a sonic cannon more effective. Cyborg would have been more useful staying at range and providing support. The fight goes on for some time with Cardiac putting up a decent resistance. However, Raven starts to get that itch when you're eager to go home so you can play that new video game you just got. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
This has gone on long enough. Azarath Metrion Dinthos! Can we go now?
The T-Cars always confuse me. Like, it's cool and I get that it's Cyborg's main mode of transportation, but Starfire and Raven are much faster than that thing. If Raven wants to go home so badly, she should just fly there. We see that while the Titans think they've taken care of Cardiac for good, he's not gonna be gone for long. See, this is why crime scenes are a thing. If the police were there bagging all the evidence, this probably would have gone better. Back at the tower, it's night? How? The sky was dark when the Titans left, it was day when they arrived at the playground, and now it's night? Raven really should have just flown since it apparently took 10 hours to drive there and 10 hours to drive back. Raven attempts to continue reading her book, but she gets constantly interrupted.
Hey, when we got home, you kind of ran to your room and locked the door. Anything you want to talk about?
No.
Good job, Robin. That's a great thing to do as a friend as well as a leader.
I have journeyed to the Mall of Shopping and discovered the joy of earthly hair ornaments. Do you wish to?
No.
Didn't y'all just get home? When did you have time to do that, Starred?
Dude, open up! What?
Stank ball! Everybody loves a good game of stank ball.
And we need a referee to play the lightning round.
No.
Raven, come on! Why can't you just have fun like normal people?
What was that, you little puke-colored goblin?
Why are you always locked in your dark room reading your nasty old books? Why do you have to be so creepy?
Now hold up. Raven didn't handle that encounter the best, but you are way out of line, you snaggletooth gremlin. Okay, let me calm down. What Beast Boy just did is something that annoys me to no end. Raven isn't bothering anyone, but because she's not acting in a way he approves of, he lashes out. As someone who's introverted, this is something I've experienced a lot in our extroverted-driven society. You want to be left alone, but people think it's wrong for you to feel that way. I'd be more forgiving of Beast Boy if this came from a place of concern, but he specifically said what he said in an attempt to hurt Raven. Now, to be fair, when I look at things from Beast Boy's perspective, I can somewhat understand his anger. Raven was aggressive to him, and even if she wasn't, it can be very frustrating when someone you care about doesn't want to spend time with you. It makes it feel like you're putting effort into the relationship, but they aren't. I think what would have helped this moment is if all of this didn't take place in less than a few minutes. Instead of the cardiac scene, which honestly could have been cut from the episode, have an extended scene of Beast Boy asking Raven to do different things throughout the day. It still wouldn't justify him blowing up at her, but it would make his frustration a lot more understandable because by the end of the day, his patience would have gotten thin with her constant rejections.
I'm not creepy. I'm just different.
Huh?
I'm not creepy. I'm just different.
Okay, I know this is going to seem like some serious nitpicking, but this is actually a really big problem with the episode, so hear me out. In storytelling, you follow a character who has a goal and an obstacle. In this particular episode so far, we've been following Raven. Her goal is to read her book, and her obstacles have been things interrupting her. We, as audience members, are focused on that. What the episode tries to do in less than 30 seconds is shift our focus from the book to Raven feeling like an outcast. Now, there's nothing wrong with shifting the focus of the story, but there needs to be a logical flow to it. One mean comment from Beast Boy isn't enough to overshadow the goal that was present for most of the episodes so far. And this is important because going forward, Raven finishing the book becomes irrelevant, and instead, we need to care about her feeling like an outcast since it's the major focus of the episode. Because of Beast Boy's comment, Raven begins to lament about how alone she feels.
And I wish there was someone around here who understood that. Someone more like me.
There is. Ow.
Did you just...
Speak? I did. And then you dropped me on my spine.
Wait, the book is alive and it can feel things? I can only wonder why it waited until now to let Raven know this. The book explains that he is Malchior of Null, the wizard in Raven's story who defeated Rorik. Apparently, Rorik's last action was to trap Malchior within the book using a curse. Malchior, however, thinks Raven can get him out of there.
And I've been waiting for someone to find me ever since. Raven, I've been waiting for you.
Oh, don't mind me, just rolling some dice. Raven isn't able to break the curse on the book, but is delighted to hear that Malchior is content with just talking.
Stank ball? You're joking.
They wanted me to referee.
Smashing.
Why are you telling him this? He was there.
And this Beast Boy sounds like an absolute genius.
That's funny. You're funny.
No, Daria is funny.
Nobody told me about any tests.
Don't worry, it's a psychological test. You're automatically exempt.
Wednesday is funny.
I see you finally made a friend, even if it is a plant.
I go for quality over quantity.
Malchior attempted to be funny, but his commentary only had the bare minimum of wit. The reason you think it's funny, Raven, is because it reinforced your emotional state. Doing that activated some positive chemicals in your brain, which you mistook for humor since that was the attempt trying to be made.
And you're the best thing that's happened to me in 1,000 years.
Yo, Raven, maybe you should tell him about that whole Trigon thing.
Then, you don't think I'm creepy?
Raven, your motif is the goth aesthetic. The whole point of that is to be creepy. You know, show appreciation for the beauty in things society at large fails to see.
You are dark, and darkness is often misunderstood. But I feel like I understand you.
In case you're not picking up on the context clues, Raven seems to have finally found someone who can relate to her, and that is bringing her some inner peace. The next day, Beast Boy approaches Raven's door again.
It's like almost noon and you haven't come out of your room. So, just in case you're mad, sorry I called you creepy last night.
I mean, the problem wasn't you calling her creepy. She is creepy. The problem was you trying to make her feel bad about herself just because she didn't want to participate in your game. Regardless, the apology is genuine, and I can't stay mad at Beast Boy. I mean, if I did, it would make the next Teen Titans video incredibly awkward. The important thing here is that Beast Boy, thinking that Raven might be hurt in some way, is trying to make her feel better. Raven dismisses Beast Boy, assuring him that she's fine, but he doesn't leave before gathering some hints that someone else is in that room. Later, we see Raven attempting to perform some magic using Malchior's instructions.
I've never even heard of this spell. Where did you learn it?
It's in the Galleon Scrolls.
You've read the Galleon Scrolls?
Fun fact about the Galleon Scrolls, I have no idea what they are.
There's just one more ingredient. A lock of hair from a beautiful girl.
Beautiful?
No scripted laughing. Keep that cringe out. Okay, well, I guess I have to tell you guys that it's hilarious Raven is surprised to find herself attractive. From what I've seen, people are thirstier for this character more than any other in this show, and that's saying something with Starfire on the team. It's not so surprising since the show was made in the 2000s, a time in the US where goth aesthetic was really popular. Shoot, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a millennial who started that whole goth girlfriend meme. Raven completes the spell, allowing Malchior to take on a mobile form. How many of you had a crush on this guy? It's paper! The man is walking paper! And yet I guarantee a lot of you fell for his charm. The spell was able to get Malchior out of the book, but not break the curse entirely. Raven, having just eaten a bunch of pretzels, is dedicated to helping Malchior.
I must teach you everything I know.
Wait a minute. If you can cast spells, why can't you just break the curse yourself? Maybe he's like a dedicated caster. All his spells are book related or something. Thankfully for Malchior, Raven is an extremely fast reader and talented spellcaster. She quickly nails down everything she's being taught in the span of a week.
You know, there is a better way.
Why the crap didn't you start with that? One thing to note is that as time goes on, Raven's cloak gets lighter in color. I believe the term you kids use today is her drip. There's a running motif in the show where whenever Raven gets a boost in power, her cloak becomes white. I have no idea why. A week later, Raven emerges from her room looking extremely pleased. See, this is what happens when you let an introvert recharge their social batteries. Cyborg and Robin do their best to be supportive without being overbearing. Starfire, however, overwhelmingly enjoys her friend's happiness and thus can't contain her excitement.
I am unable to wait. Beast Boy has told us much about the Malchior and how he remains trapped within a book.
Good gravy, girl. If Loose Lips really did sink ships, oh wait, no, I already used that joke. Turns out Beast Boy has been spying on Raven and her new bestest buddy while also informing the others.
Funny. You look more like a rat to me.
Actually, a rat is someone who works on the inside and reports it. Beast Boy is more of a snitch or a spy. He just saw what happened.
Titans, move!
Robin, that was cute how you pretended that that thing was a computer. The Titans head out and find Cardiac once again kidnapping children. Unfortunately, this time he manages to actually succeed at getting one. With a hostage at stake, our heroes are forced to tone down the violence. Raven, however, decides now would be a good time to test some of her newfound skills.
Raven, careful! The girl!
Raven, stop! I can't! What is wrong with you?
It's dark magic. You've been teaching me dark magic.
Okay, two concerns. One, I thought Raven was already using dark magic. She was born from an extremely powerful demon and her magic is literally dark. It's okay, I'm black, I can say that. The second concern is, how is Raven only just now realizing this? She's been learning and casting new spells all week.
Is it dark or is it simply misunderstood? Like you. There are those who fear power, so they call it dark.
Obvious manipulation, but he's got a point. The show never explains the difference between dark magic and not dark magic. All we saw was Raven lose control, which might not have been the magic's fault.
Without these spells, we can never truly be together.
Malchior teaches Raven the final spell to release him from his curse. Once she performs it, however...
You changed it.
Yep, turns out Malchior rolled an insanely high deception on Raven and is in fact an evil dragon.
He lied. And I gave him what he wanted.
All right, one last fight scene. The Titans do what they do best and jump into action. Since when could your Doorags do that? Despite her new powers and with the help of her friends, Raven isn't able to conquer Malchior.
I got what I wanted. I don't need you anymore.
It's not over.
I taught you everything you know.
You taught me spells, but I just learned a curse.
Why the crap would you let her go? You had her in your hands. So Raven defeats Malchior and locks him in the book once again. Later, we see Beast Boy knocking on Raven's door for a third time.
Look, I'm sorry.
You're not the one who...
No, I'm sorry that he broke your heart.
Aw. Good job, Beast Boy, comforting your friend. Raven laments that the pain she feels comes from losing the only person who made her feel like she wasn't alone in the world. Beast Boy, however, lets Raven in on the truth she's unaware of.
You think you're alone, Raven, but you're not.
And so Raven finally opens the door for Beast Boy. Metaphors are fun. The episode ends with Raven deciding to join in on a game of stank ball, which I kinda get, but also think could have been done better. I understand that this is Raven finally branching out to people who want to spend time with her, but I think the "you are not alone" message would come across better if they offered to do something she liked. If I could, I'd rewrite this ending with the Titans wanting to start a book club, since they know Raven likes to read and they realize she's been feeling isolated. Raven would then say she's had enough of books for a while and that maybe they should try a game of stank ball instead. This would keep the tone of Raven branching out, but also display that all in all, the activity doesn't matter as much as having people who care about you to do it with. And that was Spellbound. An interesting journey to go on, albeit it does have some rocky moments to it. The episode had plenty of action to satisfy a superhero fan, but still felt the need to cram in more. The first cardiac fight didn't need to happen and should have been replaced with more character moments for Raven and Beast Boy. That being said, I do like this episode, specifically because I love the lesson being taught here. Feeling like an outcast is, ironically, an almost universal feeling. Most people at some point in their life, usually in their teens, will feel like they don't belong because of how different they are from those around them. It's an invigorating feeling when you stumble across those who share your views of the world and can relate to you in ways others can't. But, as this episode demonstrates, someone who understands your quirks isn't what makes a good friend. If you base your relationship solely on that, you could easily wind up valuing the wrong person, one who will do your life more harm than good. Despite his deception, Malchior did have a lot in common with Raven. They're both dark and powerful entities with an appreciation for the arcane arts. But ultimately, they were incompatible. Obviously, there's the whole Malchior being evil and lying thing, but also, as much as Malchior could relate to Raven, he didn't actually care about her. Yet notice how the other Titans treated Raven throughout the episode. They invited her out, celebrated her happiness, and did what they could to cheer her up when she was feeling down. The Titans don't necessarily understand Raven, but they do care about her. All those interruptions were just them wanting to spend time with a person they like being around. Even Beast Boy's annoying outbursts came from a frustration of not being able to hang out with Raven. By the way, I want to point out something that I think the show did by complete accident. In Western civilization, specifically in America, every youth culture of the past few decades has had a rebelling subculture that becomes massively popular. These subcultures start out as just individuals with a different outlook on life, but because they're so radically extreme from what is currently the cultural norm, they become the default outcast group, a place where people flock to because they feel they don't fit in any other subculture. The 80s had punks, the current times have the LGBT community, but back in the 2000s, we had goths. Now, obviously, us millennials didn't invent this aesthetic, but we definitely perfected it.
That's a fact.
I find it appropriate that Raven, the goth girl of the group in a show that came out in the 2000s, was used to teach the lesson the episode presented, because I feel that teens and young adults that fall into the default outcast groups are the ones that need to hear it the most. Like I said, I don't think the show did this on purpose since Raven is an authentic goth, unlike some 2000 cartoon character posers, but I do think it's a nice touch even if it wasn't intended. Getting back to the point, however, I'm not going to dismiss how good it feels to connect with someone who clicks with you on a personal level, but it's important to understand the value of those who care about you even if they don't necessarily understand you. When those people come knocking on your door, if you let them in, you might just find that you're not as alone as you think you are. This has been Shady Doorags. So long, farewell, Avita saying goodbye.